We really needed a match like this. We generally, in the first 3 matches, we have been the more mature team. Arizona State was much more mature than us in the serving passing game and in unforced hitting errors. And then on top of that, they're a very athletic team. You look, however, at the stats that compare athleticism. It was 10 blocks to 10 blocks, 39 kills to 37 kills. But then we had 24 in the error column. 14 of those are unforced. So that's too high of a number. And, but some good things happened during this match. Okay, I thought that Axie got better through the course of this match and, ended up doing some nice things toward the end. I think that Dree did a nice job tonight. I think Alex started getting a little more aggressive and taking better swings. We 35 sets to Alex, and we've got to get to the point where we're locating them where she can be aggressive on all 35 of those. And, I want to use the Sonia Chismich, Julia Cubbage position and get more than 5 attempts in a match. We've got that position. I mean, we're running a 6-2 for a reason, and that's the added hitter, and we're not using them. So we need to. Anyway, that was a high-level team that we were playing. They didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. They forced us to play, and we didn't disrupt them enough, nor did we get enough done, and we made too many mistakes. So, we'll regroup and we'll play again tomorrow night, and we'll play again Tuesday, and we'll try to get better in each of those situations.
Did you see some things, though, in the third set? Because early on, like you talked about with your outsides, you weren't terminal enough last weekend. Alex and Jasmine both started getting some better swings.
Yeah.
In the third set, both Axie and Andrews occasionally were getting better sets. Did you see some things that you can build off, at least off the third set?
I hope so. I mean, I do think we got the ball to the middles better, and they were more effective. Acacia never really got into a groove. I think she had a couple of kills that they didn't give her. She was a little tight. Her spacing wasn't great, and so she wasn't hitting the ball very hard. I think she can be better than that. I don't know. This was a tight environment, I felt like, for our team. I felt like we played tight, and so we just didn't get a lot of things going. And part of it, the reason is, that team's pretty good.
Was that part of the reason why you felt your passing, which has been so good throughout the last couple of years, was maybe a little bit off tonight?
I thought it was off, but then I thought it was on and off. It got a little bit better. It was off at times, but it was good enough for us to win this game, this match. We just need to be a little more terminal.
It seemed like Arizona State was pretty good defensively, though.
They were good. They were good defensively. I was impressed. And they passed better than I expected them to. And they played with a lot more maturity than I expected them to. I don't know why I didn't. They're a senior-laden team. They probably should play with maturity. But from what I saw from them on film, I felt like they played a lot better than I expected them to.
It seemed like early on they hurt you with a lot of the veteran type
plays,
the tips.
They did. Their middles, half of their middles kills were on tip and junk balls after the first 2 sets. And that's a result of no effort by us and, them making smart plays.
Is getting through last weekend without losing a single set, how much tougher does that make it when you do go down a set in a game like that?
I feel like every loss is hard. Nobody on our team really likes to lose, but I think, like Tom said, we just played. Arizona State's just a much higher caliber team than what we played with last weekend, and I think it just shows how much better we can get and how good they are and where we can be, because I think we all can agree that we could definitely play with them without a doubt.
What do you think was the difference between the first 2 sets and the third set? third set, you guys looked like you were starting to get going, and you had a couple 2 errors and killed you in a row, but up until the rotation.
I think we went out more aggressive. I think in the beginning of the match, we just kind of were hesitant with how physical they were and everything. And the third set, we just went out and started swinging at balls, and good things were happening. We were getting them out of system and things like that. So, yeah.
Alex, does it feel like something's starting to happen, and as part of it, maybe a little bit surprised that maybe it's taken so long for some of that rhythm to come for you being new to the team?
I think I expected it to take a little bit of time, especially because I haven't played with anybody on this team in college, so I expected it to take some time. And we're still definitely trying to find that rhythm. It's not there yet, but we're making steps towards it.
Is part of it, Tom, or Drew, you can answer this, is part of it still for you setters, learning how to fully use this offense? All 3 hitters at your disposal all the time, and learning how it can be most effective.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with like Alex said, just our chemistry between each other, like knowing what Axie likes versus what Acacia likes, what Al likes versus Jazz, and like those kind of things, just getting in sync with each other.
What do you get out of the match? Just normally on your home floor, even if you've trailed, if you've made those little runs like you made at times tonight, they always seem to have an answer, which used to be your guys' forte. Do you gain something out of that tonight and learn something moving forward with this team?
Yeah, I think it just shows that we can play with a lot more maturity and just play a lot more aggressive, because I feel like they were always pushing us and we weren't. Like, there were times where we were pushing back, absolutely, and we played really great, and that was when we stayed with them, but then they would push back and sometimes we would have a little lull, and it's just that always being aggressive through the entire set and not just up and down.
Alex, what are the things you think you can learn, that your team will learn from this match that will make it better the rest of the season?
I think the biggest thing that we're going to learn from this game is not waiting for the other team to throw the first punch. I think we were kind of just, like Dree said, very tentative, and we were waiting to see what they were going to do before we decided to do something about it. It wasn't until we were trailing a lot that we started to get aggressive, or till the third set that we really started to get into it. So I think going into our next matches, we have to come out throwing that first punch and being aggressive and taking risks from the beginning.
Is that a hard thing to do when you're already playing behind? Because that's when you can get tentative, is when you're already a little bit behind. Is it harder to reverse that trend when you're down 3-4 points?
I think it is. But I said when we went back into the locker room when we were down 2 sets, this is a challenge. We haven't getting a sweep last weekend. We haven't been in that position. So I think instead of looking at it as oh, we're down 2 sets, we have to take a step back. We have to challenge them to be better.
Yeah, and you made a point there, Kelly, that I actually talked to the team about. I felt like we did get tentative in our serving velocity and in our aggressiveness as an attacking team. And I think our setting, you can tell these guys go higher whenever we're under pressure. And that's what younger setters do. Both these guys were, doing this for the first time. And we have to learn to not do that. We have to learn to be more aggressive. I think we're going to have to play with a little better, faster tempo. I think we're going to have to learn to really get after people serving. I know we can. And we have to do it when we're 2 or 3 and 4 points behind. And because we haven't faced that very much, we're not great at it. At the end of the second set, Cassidy Denny missed that serve, but I was very proud of her because I talked to her before she went in. I said, I want you to go in and get after these guys. I've seen you get after people serving, and we have to do it. And so you don't, when you're down, 24-20 or whatever that score was, you can't just fluff it in there. You got to get after it. And so I was proud of her. She barely missed it, but it was a good, tough serve, and that's what we need to do. And, there were some things that happened good at the end of this set, and I was very happy to see it. Again, we got to grow.